My name is Vanessa Berthier. I'm German, but I live in Luxembourg with my two kids, one of which is typical, the other one has got muscular dystrophy, and he's 3 years old. It's the second time we're here with my son. My son has a rare form of muscular dystrophy, and there's currently no cure. So the only thing you can do really is physiotherapy, but it won't stop the progression. And so our hope when we first came here about 6 months ago was to slow the progression of the disease a little bit, and so that we can keep him as healthy as possible for as long as possible until there is a cure for this disease. And so I did, of course, my research about the clinic and about other clinics, and I put all my faith that the treatment will have success, but I didn't have particular expectations of what the outcome would be. And it was very clear right after the first treatment, the first day really, that there was improvement. My son was very hypertonic and very weak, and that has changed. So it changes. There were changes that are important for a mom, such as that he could drink from his own bottle. He was able to lift his own bottle and drink. He was able to eat better. He hasn't had any issues with swallow, but he manipulated the food differently in his mouth. All of a sudden, he was able to play with heavier toys. He was able to lift them better and higher. And those were changes that we noticed, I would say, some of them immediately, some of them a few weeks after the treatment. We did a blood draw to see how the disease was progressing, and in fact it went from severe to mild, and that was way beyond the expectations we had. And we just didn't know how that would reflect in his abilities. And his abilities have changed so much. Every day he can do more. He has become a lot more self-confident and a lot more adventurous, and therefore he tries new things. And that is a beautiful virtuous cycle, because then he learns more as well. At the same time, of course, it was very important to continue with physiotherapy, because the stem cells, they can do physical changes, but because my son had very little spontaneous movement for a long time, therefore the movements were not mapped in his brain. And so we found some great therapists to work with him, and they accelerated that change. Now we are back for the second round because we were extremely pleased with the clinic. Doctors are very professional. They know the disease. They ask a lot of questions. They take a huge interest in the child. They want to see. They want to help as much as possible. Of course, they told us in the beginning that they would do the utmost possible, but that each child is different, and therefore they could not guarantee any success or any particular outcome within a particular time frame. But that was okay for us, and the care of the clinic is exceptional. It's very state-of-the-art. Everything is very modern. Communication is very easy. You can ask as many questions as you like. You get answers right away. And then at the clinic, what stuck out was the care. So, for example, for my son, it's very difficult to draw blood from him. Usually, phlebotomists, they struggle a lot. He likes to hide his veins. And here, it wasn't a problem at all. It took a few seconds, and they had all the blood they needed. And then they did also an ultrasound to see how his muscles look like. And that is also something that we haven't experienced before. Doctors haven't done that in a long time. Now that we're here the second time, it will be interesting to see the actual physical changes, because of course as a mom I can only observe what's happening, but I can't look into his muscles. He feels stronger and less hypertonic and definitely less weak. But it will be interesting to see what the muscle actually looks like. So we're going to do that tomorrow. And today was our first day of treatment, and he received the cells after we had a long conversation with the doctor to discuss the improvements, to discuss again expectations and things like that. So in total, I can only recommend Emcell. The experience has been great, and yeah, I mean, if there are any questions, I'm sure that, you know, any questions regarding muscular dystrophy and how the stem cells can help, I'm sure that you can direct your questions to the clinic and they can direct them to me if you want to have an answer from a mom.